Agriculture operations around Idaho are wrapping up their harvest season. Some, to be honest, they're already done. But it's a pretty major accomplishment to make it through every year. Ag operations, they do a lot of hard work. A whole side story for the ag community this year was the battle over Idaho water. For months, we've followed negotiations between surface and groundwater users and everyone on the periphery. You can check out the 208 special on the topic for an in-depth look. It's available right now at ktvb.com, KTVB Plus, KTVB YouTube. Just go there and search liquid assets. Last time, though, that we checked in on the discussions and the negotiations, a mitigation plan was getting closer and closer to completion. A plan that, in part, aims to ease tensions between all the camps. We now have a finalized deal in view, and I sat down with the man who has worked through negotiations with all the stakeholders, Lieutenant Governor Scott Bedke. He details the hope that in the very near future, a new and lasting Idaho water deal can be made.
We have an agreement that we're all proud of, a draft agreement that we're all proud of, period. Now it's up to each of the membership groups to ratify this agreement. And so that's where we are right now, is the farmers met. The farmers worked out their differences and came together with broad areas of the things that they needed to have, and very specifically at times too. Then we brought the lawyers back in because this is a legal document that's got to stand the test of time, and we want to make sure that it's as airtight as we can get it today. Now it's gone out to all of the parties, so the 9 groundwater districts, all of the surface water coalition entities, and then the other interested parties, because you have food processors, etc. Anyway, we're happy to say that that group, that working group, which was basically the principals from all of those organizations, came together with something that they can, quote, be proud of. The hard deadlines are ratification by November 14th. But those meetings are ongoing. I know that some of the districts have already met and kind of given it a nod. And so that's going pretty well. The interim committee that you just saw is kind of, they want to catch up to. Anyway, so I'm color me optimistic.
We're sitting here at end of October. In a matter of weeks, there could be a plan that everyone signs off on?
Yes. We never want to repeat what we went through last May and June, and this keeps us from ever doing that again.
What can you say about the topics of averaging and then metering? How did that kind of end up?
Well, there were several things that stuck out like sore thumbs, if you will, and with multiple hands from the 2015 agreement into this agreement. Number one, there was this concept that if I do mine and you don't do yours, then we both go down because we're stuck together. And so that happened clear across all the 9 groundwater districts. Every groundwater district had to perform, and if one didn't, then they all didn't. And that has gone by the wayside. So this whole concept of proportionality, of everybody standing on their own accomplishments, then if you do yours, then you get all the benefits of doing yours, and then if I don't do mine, then I get all the consequences of my not doing mine. Averaging is another improvement. Now, averaging morphed into what we call water blocking. So it's not just a one-year deal, because farmers have these multi-year rotational plans, because you can't always have potatoes in the same ground that you have potatoes and potatoes. You got to rotate. And so we had the water blocking mirror these 4-year rotations. So you get an allocation for 4 years. When it's gone, it's gone. But you can average your use in those 4 years, and you can make your allocation a little higher by doing private recharge, which all begs for the 4th point, which is measurement. So we're going to do all this, and then everybody's going to measure. That measurement is going to be transparent to everyone. They decided they also to set aside all litigation. They're going to quit suing each other here and let this thing work for a while. There are all these projects that are on the books that will help ameliorate this over time. The state always is ready to step up and fund some of these projects, and so that's all in this agreement.
So in the coming weeks, the draft agreement will be made public. We know the high-level details, as you just heard, but the document is private until the votes are made and the ideas are ratified. Again, November 14th is when we expect that deal to be publicly announced.